It will be primarily a partial transcript of his calls with the hostage negotiators.
You say partial. What's being left out?
Well, what we're not going to do is further proclaim this individual's pledges of allegiance to terrorist groups and further his propaganda.
So we're not going to hear him talk about those things?
We will hear him talk about some of those things, but we're not going to hear him make his assertions of allegiance and that.
So there's Loretta Lynch, the AG, saying the FBI will release partial transcripts of Mateen's telephone conversations with police during the attack in Orlando. The key word there is partial because any reference made about allegiance to radical Islam, or most of it, is said to be edited out. Florida Governor Rick Scott joins me live now in Orlando. And Governor, thank you for your time yet again today, and welcome back here to America's Newsroom. Do you specifically know what will be edited out of that transcript?
Bill, I do not know, but I tell you, I've talked to families. I've been down here since the terrorist attack. I've talked to families that lost their loved ones. I've met with families that are in the hospital, the loved ones in the hospital. We're all looking for answers. And why wouldn't you release everything? I mean, look, we all need to know, but especially these families, they need to know exactly what happened. We're trying to understand why this happened. And so it doesn't make any sense to me. You wouldn't just release the entire transcript.
So you clearly disagree with this decision based on that answer, correct?
Bill, absolutely. I mean, Bill, just seems like this is another example of not focusing on the evil here. This is evil. It's ISIS. It's radical Islam. At some point, you know, we lost 49 lives here. We lost Steven Stotloff, a journalist out of Miami in 2014 that was beheaded by ISIS. At some point, we're going to get a president that's going to say, you know, I care about destroying ISIS. I want it for everybody that was impacted this. I want a focus on how do we get rid of ISIS? How do we stop this? How do we stop radical Islam? This is wrong. It's hurting our country. This was an attack on our gay community, our Hispanic community, but our entire nation.
She says she did not want to re-victimize the victims. Now, what does that mean?
Well, I have no idea what she means, but I can tell you what. I've gone to funerals. I've sat down and cried with the parents. I've gone and visited individuals in the hospitals. They're grieving. Now, they want answers. If it was my family, I'd want answers. You would too. We all would like answers. You know, she should release everything that doesn't impact the investigation. I can understand if it was something that impacted the investigation until this is finished. I get that. But she's not saying that. It doesn't make any sense to me. We've got to get serious about destroying ISIS. Destroy ISIS. Stop radical Islam.
What do you think the motivation is here? What's the administration afraid of?
Bill, I have no idea, but it sure appears that they don't want to talk about that ISIS was involved. This is clearly ISIS inspired. It's clearly as a result of evil, radical Islam. We've got to call this for what it is. We've got to defend our country. We've got to stop, you know, we got to stop saying ISIS is not the problem. They are the problem. I mean, they want to destroy us. There's people that want to kill us. They are killing us. 49 people in my state massacred because of radical Islam, because of the evil of ISIS.
She also said we're trying to get as much information about this investigation out as possible, meaning to get it made public. I don't get that impression, and I don't believe the American people are afraid of the facts. So what would explain such a delay? Because, you know, you're a week into this, and plus, in fact, 9 days later, and there are so many holes that have yet to be filled in. What would explain the reluctance? Is it because the investigation is still hot and perhaps they don't know, or what would explain that?
Well, Bill, I think the local FBI is doing a great job. I think Orlando Police Department, Sheriff's Department, Florida Department of Law Enforcement, they're working together. They're following the leads. I think they're doing their job. But all of us, if it was my family, I'd want the information. What the Attorney General is doing by not releasing all this information, it doesn't make any sense. She's not saying it's impacting the investigation. I would get that. To me, this appears to be, I don't want to focus, you know, the president doesn't want to focus on ISIS. That's what we've got to focus on. We've got to focus on destroying ISIS, stopping radical Islam. This is wrong what she's doing.
In the meantime, all of it is sourced information, and none of it's coming from official sources. Sir, thank you for your time. We're looking for answers again today. Governor Rick Scott, the Republican from Florida.
Thanks, Bill.
Thank you, sir. My best to you again in your city.